Hold up.
I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're staying safe at home. I hope you had a beautiful weekend. Today, I want to talk about the power of self-restraint. Today, I want to talk about different aspects in our life where we struggle because we're unable to control ourselves. You see, a lot of our problems can be sorted out in life with self-restraint or self-control. For people who emotionally eat, they know that they shouldn't be eating, but yet they eat when they're emotionally low. Some people eat when they're happy. We all know what we should be doing, but we find it difficult. Today, I want to talk about negative emotions and anger. We all know that these are limiting emotions. At the same time, to be truthful, these are emotions that exist in all of us. You know, when you break down anger, there could be righteous anger, and there can be uncontrolled anger. Like you are angry when you see, for example, you're on the street. Let's make up a hypothetical situation. You're on the street and you see someone kind of physically abusing, okay, a young girl. Okay, now if you don't have righteous anger, you're going to turn the other way. You're not going to go and take action. You're not going to save someone who's being beaten up, or you're not going to take that action. So anger is an emotion which can be used in different ways. Everyone's trying for peace and happiness, but anger is a beautiful emotion which you can channel into excellence, into something called righteous anger. Let's say, for example, you're a guy or a girl, and you're with your partner. You're married, you're unmarried, okay? And someone comes to attack your partner, okay? If you don't have the emotion of anger, okay, you're not going to be able to protect yourself. Now, you can choose another way. You can choose to be submissive. You can choose to be calm. You can choose to whatever. But sometimes you got to use the emotion that's going to bring around safety and security for your partner, your kid, anyone else. So you see, don't just label anger as a bad emotion. It's a bad emotion when it's not tamed, when it's out of control, when we use it to project our insecurities, our fears on other people, when we don't want to take responsibility for life, when we don't want to learn patience, when we think we're entitled and everything should go the way we want it to go. People should say the things we want to hear. People should do the things that we want them to do. And when it doesn't happen, we get angry. It's a reaction. Now that's poor anger. That's anger that hurts you. It hurts people around you. It depletes you of energy. It impacts your liver, your heart, your blood pressure, your brain, your reproductive system, everything. You see, anger is an emotion. If left uncontrolled or it's chronic, it moves you out of homeostasis. It moves you into the sympathetic nervous system, which is okay to stay in for a short period of time. But when we stay angry for a long time, it happens. So a lot of us say, it's my nature to be angry. I mean, I'm a hot-tempered guy. I've always been a short-tempered person. It doesn't mean I can choose to accept that and not do something about it. So over the years, I've learned to meditate. I've learned to channel my energies. I've learned to be calm, choose my response. And of course, it's a better way of living. It's easy to put a label on ourselves and say, I'm like that, and expect everyone to accept you. They don't have to accept you, and that makes you more angry. You know, all of us have negative emotions and certain limiting behaviors, which is okay, as long as we're looking at getting better. We're looking at improving, because we don't want to accept something and have other people accept something that we ourselves cannot accept at some point. So let's go into a simple exercise today. Let's talk about anger or any emotion. Let's talk about negativity. Let's talk about resentment. Let's talk about guilt. Let's talk about envy. What happens when you start to feel these emotions? Let's take anger right now, because when you understand what to do with anger, you apply the same model to other emotions. And another reason why we should be doing this self-work, because today negative emotions, we know it's scientifically proven to be connected with diseases. We know that every emotion has a physical and a subtle connection with the disease that you have. We know that liver problems are more related to people who are very irritable in nature, very rigid in their thought process. We know that back problems could be related to financial problems. We know that the prostate in elder men is related to their loss of control. Okay, or when they can't do things that they could do before, they feel a loss of control. We know that certain breast cancers are connected with feelings of insecurity. We know that weight gain in the abdominal area is also related to insecurity, or not loving yourself, or not feeling loved, even if you are loved. So every condition, physical level, has a connection with the mental or emotional level. And It's obvious because your mind controls every single cell in the human body. Let's go straight into the solution. What do we do? So let's take a hypothetical example. You are used to getting angry every single day if your lunch is served late to you. That's one example. Or if the bus doesn't come on time, the internet keeps crashing down when you're in an important meeting, and you get angry and you react, and that anger stays with you for a while. It's okay. What's been happening is good. It's bad, but we're here to change it right now. Now, your subconscious mind is used to the reaction that you will have. So they know that every time the internet goes down when Luke's speaking to a patient, he is going to be angry. He's going to curse the internet providers in his mind, their services, their productivity. He's going to get angry at people around. That's what's going to happen because that pattern has been getting stronger and stronger every time I have the same reaction. The simplest way to change a negative emotion or an emotional reaction is by doing something different. So let's say the internet goes down today when I'm consulting with a patient. Now, instead of reacting the same way, I choose to respond or react a different way. Like, it's life, what do? I've done my best, this is out of my control. Now the subconscious mind is going to say, hey, this isn't the way that Luke usually reacts. This isn't the way that Luke usually responds. I do it tomorrow again. And the third time, now the subconscious mind starts building this as a pattern. So I override a bad pattern with a new pattern that I want to create. So after a while, the things that make you angry, okay, they stop provoking you because you've changed a pattern by changing your response. There is so much of power in the way we respond, and it's difficult because we're so used to running on auto mode that this happens, I react this way. This happens, I react that way. I see this particular person or your partner suddenly starts to bring up a little bit of the past, you immediately move into that pattern. But what if you step back and decided to change your response? Forget about your partner, forget about everyone else, but for you, so that you can create a new neural circuit that overrides the old one. So every time you get envious when that friend of yours comes by in their car or flashing jewelry and a new handbag, what if the next time your response or your reaction, instead of being envious and thinking, oh, easy money, show off, all of that stuff, you replace it with, wow, that must be making her or him so happy. And I should be happy for them because it's making them happy. The subconscious mind, different, neural circuit, new one. And you keep strengthening that neural circuit, and all of a sudden that feeling of envy slowly starts to tame and get out of your system. Of course, every day will throw you up a new problem. There's no doubt. And most of us will react. Most of us. But then when we do our reflection at night and we realize that we reacted, tomorrow we say, okay, if this happens again, I'm going to respond. Okay, someone in your family gets diagnosed with a deadly disease. Of course, you're going to react and all of that stuff. After a while, you're going to choose your responses to it when you realize there's nothing that you can do except the certain actions that you can take. So now you need to make a list of the negative, like someone gets a cancer, someone gets diabetes. The immediate thing is reaction. That's fine. That's the emotional drama. Once the emotional drama is out of the picture, now you have the emotion which you can respond to. Okay, fine. It's diabetes. These are the best things that I can do. But change your response if you want to change a negative emotion. Sometimes it's easy to cut out people, but we may cut people out of our life, but their behavior with us when they were in our life continues to haunt us. Because every time we think about it, we go into that spiral, even though the person isn't there anymore. I know people, okay, who are still troubled by people who are dead and gone. But yet, every time they think of what that person's done to them, they go through that whole negativity. And I'm like, hey, the guy's dead. He's dead 10 years ago. But the neural circuit, because every time this person thinks about it, she keeps reinforcing it and it gets stronger and stronger. So there is so much of beauty in response. And believe me, it is not easy. You may decide today that I'm not going to be angry when I see that person. I'm not going to be angry when the internet goes down. I'm not going to be angry when I eat an ice cream. Okay? And tomorrow we may just get angry again. But you try again and again. It's not easy. The same time it took you to strengthen the negative belief pattern is the same time it's going to take you to strengthen a positive pattern. But the beauty is, it is not impossible. It is never impossible to make a change if you want to and if you choose to. So most people are strengthening their patterns every day. Oh, teenagers are going to be problems. Oh, terrible twos, terrible threes. Oh, when I have a kid, my life is over. It's going to be whatever. And you keep thinking that, that's exactly how you're going to feel. But what if your kid doesn't take you through the terrible twos? What if your kid doesn't take you through the terrible threes? What if you change as a person and you want to actually spend more time at home than outside? So many possibilities, but they're limiting because you've chosen a negative pattern which doesn't even have to be real. It's someone else's story. It is someone else's life experience. It doesn't have to be y'all. Every teenager isn't bad. I know so many teenagers and parents who say, my teenagers are great, and they are great. So we can't just say teenagers are bad, teenagers are this, teenagers are going to do drugs, teenagers are going to have, before marriage sex. No, you don't label anything in your mind and strengthen it. Your teenager could be different. There could be so many different things. It's all dependent on the way that you think. If you think you live in a country where you feel oppressed or suppressed, every day you are going to feel that. Okay, freedom is your choice. It all starts with the way we think and the way you override a negative belief system with a positive one. And you can start right now. The 5 things that make you react and you don't feel good about that reaction. What are these 5 things or people or events so that you're aware? You need to bring only one ingredient towards cultivating this: awareness. So the next time it happens and you're about to react, pause, think differently about it, respond differently. When you do that, there's a new neural circuit that's created in your subconscious mind. And then you got to do it the second time, the third time, the fourth time, and after a while that negative emotion moves. It doesn't get out of you, but you weaken it. And when it weakens, okay, what gets stronger? The new pattern. And this is how you can apply this pattern to every aspect of your life. Again, weight gain means, oh, I hate myself. I'm not going to look good. What are my friends going to say? I don't like to look at the mirror. Get up every day, stand. The same negative pattern. You will never feel happy. And that same stress doesn't allow you to lose weight. But the weight's gone up again. Okay, what changes can we make? Fine, my weight, at least my body's telling me that I have to change my lifestyle. Laugh it off. There's no point being angry about something that you cannot change without action. So anything, if it's a person, you have 2 choices: to change the way you respond or let go of the person or accept the person. These are easy things for me to say, but they're not easy to do, but they're not impossible. Practice, practice, practice. You want to get good at the piano? What do? You practice. You want to get good at a sport? What do? You practice. The same thing with this. You practice, practice, practice. So take up 2 or 3 things where you react, make a note of them, study them so you're aware. Every time this happens, I am not. When your partner's provoking you, I am not going to give the response which I usually do. I am not going to give the reaction. Be mindful for that. Change the reaction. She or he may think you're crazy. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. Number 1, for you. So that you change the way you think. And because you change the way you think, you change the way you feel. And because your feelings change, your experience changes. And when your experience changes, your behavior changes. When your behavior changes, your life experience changes. It's as simple as that. It actually is very simple. All it requires is mindfulness, awareness, and action. So whether it's a relationship problem, it's a health problem, whatever it is, everything that you find yourself reacting negatively to, remember, now let's take a simple group of people that want to constantly negatively gossip about someone else. What are you doing? You may think you're feeling good because you're venting out, but by gossiping about someone's behavior or how they look or who they are, you're only strengthening that negative pattern in your subconscious mind. It's limiting you. That person who's being gossiped about probably doesn't care, doesn't know, and will probably never know. So they go on living their life. But you're depleting yourself of energy. You're creating a negative pattern that drains you, so you got to break away from these negative behaviors. Once in a way, we all like to talk about someone out of fun, vent out, have a good time. But when you find it becoming your habit, it's only limiting you. It's draining you of energy. It's messing up with your neural circuits. So that's why living a life with mindfulness and awareness, you don't have to become a monk. You don't have to become you don't have to go to the mountains. You don't have to do that. You just have to bring an element of awareness and mindfulness in the little things that you do that makes your life more enjoyable. It makes it so much more enjoyable than leading a mundane life and just reading spiritual books and listening to spiritual stuff. but not living with awareness and not living with mindfulness. Have a great day. Have a great week, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep, and remember, you care is all about you.